This video is brought to you by Visible. Welcome to the future of phone service. Whether you call him Bruce Banner, David Banner, or the angry half of the Science Bros, there are few characters with as many interpretations on page and screen as the Incredible Hulk. From his first appearance in the 1960s through the MCU, Hulk's been through some changes. A lot of changes. We're taking a look at the evolution of the Incredible Hulk. Hulk debuted in 1962 in the first issue of a self-titled comic created by the legendary team of Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. Dr. Bruce Banner was a meek scientist conducting experiments with gamma rays. During a weapons test involving a gamma ray bomb, Bruce saves Rick Jones, a harmonica-playing teenager who drove onto the detonation site on a dare because teens have always been dumb. Bruce is hit with gamma rays and transformed into the Hulk, a savage monster with a penchant for speaking in the third person. The Hulk and Bruce share one body, with the Hulk probably thought to take control at night, which is later changed to taking over when Bruce is angry. Due to issues with 1960s ink quality, this Hulk is gray, but by issue 2, he looks like the Hulk we love. We also meet his love interest, Betty Ross, and her father and Hulk nemesis, General Thunderbolt Ross, which you have to admit is one of the most fun nicknames in comics. This series only lasted a handful of issues, but the character continued to be featured in other Marvel books, like the Fantastic Four and the Avengers. It was during this time when his name was retconned to Dr. Robert Bruce Banner due to Stan Lee mistakenly calling him Bob too many times, thus turning him into one of those guys who goes by his middle name. Hulk would, of course, get his own solo series again, which boasts the first appearance of Wolverine in issue 180. Even into the 1980s, Bruce and the Hulk rarely got along, going so far as to get separated into two separate bodies before inevitably being brought back together. After the separation storyline, the Hulk was back to being gray, and it was revealed that abuse Dr. Banner suffered in childhood caused what we now refer to as dissociative identity disorder. This revelation is a great example of the influence cultural climate has both on his story and comics in general. In the 70s and 80s, many stories touched on issues of abuse and addiction, echoing societal concerns. This manifested as a new personality for the Gray Hulk named Mr. Fix-It. Mr. Fix-It wasn't as strong as regular Hulk, but was crafty, knew his way around any Vegas casino, and had style. I mean, come on, look at that outfit. Initially, he refused to let Bruce take over, but they figured out how to work together. Hulk went green again, with his personalities converging into one. Referred to as Merged Hulk and later Professor Hulk, this persona was as smooth as Mr. Fix-It, as smart as Bruce, and as brolic as the original recipe. As with most variations, this didn't last long. Green Scar Hulk might seem familiar. The smartest heroes on Earth, including Professor Xavier and Tony Stark, meet in secret while calling themselves the Illuminati because there's nothing shady about that at all. The Illuminati decided that Hulk was becoming too unpredictable after he leveled Las Vegas. Their solution? Shoot him into space. The smartest men in Marvel history, everybody. Hulk's ship crash lands on the cruel planet Sakaar, where he fights as a gladiator, becomes king, and starts a family. His rocket ship then explodes, killing his wife and destroying the planet like a reverse Krypton. He returns to Earth seeking revenge in the World War Hulk storyline. This Hulk is intelligent and probably the strongest of the Hulks. How strong? Causes earthquake strong. He calls himself the World Breaker because he can call himself anything he wants. Who's gonna stop him? Not me. Later, Hulk's body was enhanced with an abandoned version of a Tony Stark tech called Extremis, which was itself an attempt to recreate the super soldier serum which transformed Steve Rogers into Captain America. This led to a new personality, Doc Green. Doc Green is another version of a smart Hulk, this one with plans to eliminate all gamma-enhanced individuals on Earth. Oh, and there's also the Immortal Hulk, who resurrects every time he's killed. Just so many Hulks. So now that we're semi-caught up on the different Hulks of the comics, let's turn our attention to the Hulk of the big and little screens. Hulk's first jump from page to screen began with two 1977 made-for-TV movies, which became a weekly series airing from 1978 to 1982 on CBS.
Don't make me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
Bill Bixby starred as Dr. David Bruce Banner, a physician and scientist whose wife was killed in a car accident. A grieving Banner attempts to use gamma rays like steroids. He accidentally turns himself into the Incredible Hulk, played by Lou Ferrigno, 4 buckets of green paint, and a Party City wig. David walks the earth like Kane, solving problems and hoping to find a way to rid himself of the green guy. A little corny and very emblematic of its time, every week he'd remind the people he helped to be good to themselves before sadly hitchhiking away, which makes this iteration the incredibly sweet and wholesome Hulk. This series was followed by 3 made-for-TV movies: The Incredible Hulk Returns, featuring an appearance by Thor, The Trial of the Incredible Hulk with Wilson Fisk and Daredevil, and The Death of the Incredible Hulk. The Hulk also appeared in several animated TV shows and movies, including 1996's The Incredible Hulk, which has 2 seasons, 2010's Planet Hulk, and Hulk and the Agents of Smash, which ran from 2013 to 2015. He's had several great video games, along with appearances in franchises like Marvel vs. Capcom. Television and animation proved a slightly smoother transition than live-action movies for our dear Dr. Banner. Getting off to a rocky start, 2003's Hulk by Oscar-winning director Ang Lee featured Eric Bana as Bruce Banner, Jennifer Connelly as Betty Ross, and Sam Elliott, who was credited as Ross. Just Ross. Aw man. The film took a very serious view of the material. While simulating the feel of comic book panels was characteristic of Lee's artful directing style, many agreed that Hulk was maybe too much of a downer for a movie about a giant grass-colored dude who loves smashing stuff. Universal Studios tried again 5 years later with 2008's The Incredible Hulk. This version starred Edward Norton, a massive fan who turned down the chance to play Banner in the '03 film due to concerns with the script's quality. This Dr. Bruce Banner worked with a General Ross played by William Hurt, and oh yeah baby, the Thunderbolt is back. His blood is used to create Tim Roth's Abomination, while a Sharpie is used to create Tim Roth's abs. Abomination and Hulk fight, Hulk wins and leaves New York. We see that he's beginning to learn how to control his transformations. But, much like in the comics, Hulk does some of his best work as a guest star. The Avengers, released in 2012, marked the first time we got to see Marvel's mightiest heroes in one movie. It's also the first time we see Mark Ruffalo's take on Bruce Banner. As this is a recast and not a reboot, it catches us up to Banner's whereabouts following the events of '08's The Incredible Hulk. Ruffalo's Bruce Banner has less of a hair trigger than the 2 previous incarnations. This Banner is brooding, lonely, and full of self-hate.
I put a bullet in my mouth and the other guy spit it out.
He joins up with the Avengers and, most importantly, joins up with Tony Stark to become the Science Bros. In 2015's Avengers Age of Ultron, Banner and Stark have been working on a secret global peacekeeping initiative called Ultron, which they hope will protect the planet and make the Avengers unnecessary. Ultron gains sentience, goes online, and immediately decides that humanity's got to go. Which is fair, we all have Twitter. The Avengers try to stop Ultron, and Hulk goes on a rage and destroys a good chunk of Johannesburg. Tony is able to defeat Hulk by using special Hulkbuster armor.
Go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep.
Fans were excited to see the Hulkbuster armor from Iron Man 304 finally make its big screen debut. Unwilling to cause any more harm, Hulk flies away in the Quinjet while Natasha tries to turn him back into Bruce via FaceTime. We don't see Banner again until 2017's Thor Ragnarok. Thor lands on the cruel planet Sakaar, where he has to fight as a gladiator. Sound familiar? Ragnarok shows the monster with more emotional range and intellect than previously. Ragnarok also got to showcase the funny side of both Banner/Hulk, a piece of the character that hadn't yet really been explored in his other big screen outings. Last year's Avengers Infinity War opens with the full ship of Asgardian refugees under attack by Thanos. Hulk attempts to smash Thanos and quickly has his green everything handed to him. Heimdall uses his last moments to send Hulk to New York to warn Earth about Thanos. Banner finds himself unable to transform into the Hulk. Hulk refuses to come out, at one point telling Banner no mid-transformation. Thanos gets all of the Infinity Stones and succeeds in his goal to kill half of the universe. Bruce Banner is unharmed by the snap, but seemingly no longer able to coax the Hulk to take control of their shared body. What's next for the Hulk? Avengers Endgame. This promotional image for Orville Redenbacher caused as much speculation as you would expect. Many noted that the uniform and more human, Banner-like facial features could point to a version of the aforementioned merged or Professor Hulk. As we've seen, it wouldn't be the first time one of these alternate designs was used for live-action inspiration. If so, here's hoping they keep the ponytail. Thanks so much for joining us on the special look at the evolution of the Hulk. This video is brought to you by Visible. Welcome to the future of phone service.